Breaking news happening right now. Reports of gunfire on the Strip. Power to the polls. Thousands of Americans from around the nation crowding Sam Boyd Stadium for the Las Vegas Women's March. Meghan Markle's Christmas will be a whole new experience now that she's set to tie the knot with Prince Harry. Well, some folks party a little too hard on New Year's Eve. Metro arresting a handful of overzealous revelers. Police tell us Cardenas may have had mental health issues. Breaking news happening right now. Reports of gunfire on the Strip. It's shutting down the area near Mandalay Bay. 13 Action News reporter Joe Bartels is live near the scene. Joe, what can you tell us? Have police been able to give you any sense of any kind of motive? Do you get a sense of whether that shooter is inside or outside the hotel and running down the Strip? Joe, thank you very much. Thanks for keeping us up to date on all this. Stay safe out there, my friend. And we have our news director, Mike Delestrito, on the phone. He has some more information on what is going on over there. Mike? You see a lot of police cars out there, far too many to count, coming from different jurisdictions. This is reminiscent of a shooting we had on the Strip earlier this year, back in the springtime, if I'm not mistaken. This one happening during the daytime. The Strip was shut down. There was an active shooter seen on there. We were going wall to wall again back then. This is well before you'd gotten there, Joe. But Joe, I mean, from what you see, can you get any sense of whether there are dozens or whether there are 100 or so police cars out there? It may be a silly question, but I'm trying to get an idea of just how enormous this response is. Joe, are you getting any sense of whether those people who you were just telling us about, whether they were inside the hotel, whether they were able to see the shooter, or can you even get anywhere near them? Let me just give the folks a recap of what's happening. Reports of gunfire down on the Strip. It's shutting down parts of the Strip near Mandalay Bay. Of course, Joe Bartels has been out there on the scene doing fantastic work. We have our chopper coming up. You can see through those trees, police cars out there. From what Joe was telling us before, there have to be more than 100 police cars out there from Las Vegas Police, from Henderson Police, probably from other police departments. We have what we know right now, or what we have reports of right now, is that there's been a shooting. Several people have been shot. We don't have any sense yet of how many people have been shot. I'm being told right now we have a witness, an eyewitness who was on the phone named Joseph. Joe, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I was at the Tropicana Hotel.
Joe, this must have been a terrifying situation. What was going through your mind as you're hearing that rapid staccato repeat of what sounds like may have been machine gun fire and seeing all these people around you scattering? What was going through your mind as all this was going down?
Evacuate anybody I can get a hold of.
Joe, I want to keep you there right now. Don't go away. I just want to mention to folks we are on Facebook Live for those of you who want to interact with us on Facebook Live. But Joe, this must have been a terrifying situation. You come in from out of town into Las Vegas to enjoy, to have fun, to relax, and then this horrifying, terrifying situation happens. Tell us, Joe, how scary, how terrifying was all this?
Oh, it was, I mean, maximum terror to the max.
There are reports of gunfire on the Strip. We heard the sound of rapid fire, what sounded like rapid fire semi-automatic weapons being fired. It's shutting down part of the Strip near Mandalay Bay. We have crews on the scene right now. We have crews heading out to the scene. We have Chopper 13 about to head to the scene. You're watching video from earlier of people scattering, people running away, trying to save their lives after they hear the gunshot. They have no idea where those shots are being fired, who is firing them, or why. They don't know what is happening, what is going on. I want to go back to, if we can, that video of the people crouching down just because it is so compelling. Can we see that video again? Okay, here's that video again. Okay, you see people crouching down after they hear gunshots. They are looking to see what's going on. You can hear the gunshots in the background. They are looking to see what's going on. There are people who are just terrified, out of their wits, out of their minds, trying to figure out just what in the world is going on out there. Who is doing this? Why are they doing this? What is happening? We know that Las Vegas has been preparing for massive events like this, massive violent events like this. Take a look, there were people climbing over those barricades trying to run for their lives. And you can see right now, is this live or is this recorded video? This is recorded video. This is recorded video of police out there on the strip, out there on the scene. You can see lots of police cars, lots of police walking to and from the area around Mandalay Bay. Again, reports of gunshots near the Mandalay Bay on the strip. We have a witness now, we're told. We have a witness on the phone, and her name is Lauren, I understand?
Lawrence.
Lawrence, his name is Lawrence. Lawrence, tell us, what did you see? What did you hear?
So we ended up leaving like 5 minutes before the gunfire.
We're also getting reports that the 15 is shut down from Tropicana to Russell. And I also want to remind people that this at least reminds me of that active shooting situation that we had on a weekend during the daytime back earlier in the year, where there was a man who was on or who was near a bus there. This is very reminiscent of that. This one, of course, right now is at night. We don't have that many details on this as far as who or what happened or why this happened. What we do know is that the shooting happened near Mandalay Bay. Several people were shot. There were people who were scrambling and running for their lives, trying to get to safety, trying to get away from the scene. Let's go back to that video, if we can, of the people who are crouching down behind those barricades, trying to stay safe. If we can bring up that video. Can we? Yeah, look at that right now. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see that yet, Beth, but wow, it was just so terrifying seeing people crouching down behind the barricades. You can actually hear what sound like gunshots, in the background of that video. And then after this, after people get up and they see what's happening, or they get an idea of what's happening, they start running, okay? Take a look at this. People jumping over barricades, trying to get away from this, running for their lives, trying to get to safety, not having any idea of what is going on. This is just an absolutely terrifying, desperate situation. Part of the strip still locked down. We understand that people who were in Mandalay Bay were being taken down to the basement. Some of the people who were in the area, I guess, in the around the lobby, I'm going to guess, were taken down to the basement to try to keep them out of harm's way. Again, we don't know who is responsible for this or why this is happening. What we do know is this is an active situation, an active shooter situation. It is very dangerous. People's lives are at risk, so avoid that area at all costs. Right now on 13 Action News, live at 11, a horrific case of animal abuse. Hundreds hoarded and suffering. Authorities today seizing them from a Valley home. This near Lamb and Cary. 13 Action News fast and first to the scene tonight. Gina Lazard tells us police say the conditions were deplorable. Power to the polls, thousands of Americans from around the nation crowding Sam Boyd Stadium for the Las Vegas Women's March. They're calling for an end to inequality. They're calling on people to vote. 13 Action News reporter Annalise Ortiz explains Nevada is a key state in the midterm elections. It's been more than 3 months since the 1 October massacre. We still don't know why Stephen Paddock opened fire. Today, protesters demanding answers outside Mandalay Bay. They're pressing the hotel and metro to release surveillance footage from the night of the shooting. New development tonight from the nation's capital. The Senate calling it quits for the night. They still do not have a deal. ABC's Zachary Keish reports that means the federal government will remain closed for now. Two enduring symbols of America that will remain open despite the shutdown, the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. They'll both reopen tomorrow. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says the state will pick up the tab for federal workers. That's about $65,000 a day to pay for employees. Cuomo says the sites are vital to the state's tourism industry. We're feeling the effects of the shutdown right here in the Valley. National parks, as the story said, are closing their gates. Visitor centers at Mount Charleston, Red Rock, Lake Mead, and Death Valley will be closed. Limited trails, roads, and paths will remain open. Inmate is on the run after he breaks out of prison. Officials say Jeffrey Pimentel walked away from Three Lake Valley Conservation Camp. That's about 30 miles north of Las Vegas. The State Corrections Department believes a driver may have picked him up. He was last seen wearing blue prison-issue jeans with a blue shirt and white sneakers. A man is dead after a car plows into him. This happening last night near the 215 and Warm Springs. Police say Jeffrey Miller was walking in the street when the car hit him. Miller later dying from his injuries. The driver suffering only minor injuries. He's cooperating with police. Chaos on the street. A driver jumping the curb. Dozens of pedestrians running to get out of the way. ABC's Stephanie Ramos tells us the van doesn't stop for about half a mile. The team you love to hate, the New England Patriots, are heading back to the Super Bowl for a 10th time. Yeah, our floor director Nick loves that. That means Tom Brady's 8th Super Bowl. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-20 to win the AFC title. The Patriots will face the Philadelphia Eagles. The Birds soar over the Minnesota Vikings 38-7 to win the NFC Championship. Monstrous weather pummeling the nation, from punishing hurricanes to deadly wildfires, and we could pay the price for years. Giant step into the brave new world of shopping, a checkout-free store. No cash registers, no lines. How will it work? ABC's Eva Pilgrim explains. How about this? Medical marijuana for your pets. Yeah, it's a thing in the world of alternative medicine. Many pet treats and insect repellents now contain cannabis oil and hemp products. Don't worry, there's no THC in them. That's the stuff that gets you high. Advocates say medical cannabis can help your pets with anxiety, pain, and seizures. But what do the experts think? At least one skier is injured in an avalanche. This happening at the Snow Basin Ski Resort in Weber County, Utah. That's about an hour north of Salt Lake City. The lift shut down as crews on the ground and in the air search for other possible victims. A grim discovery in the aftermath of those deadly mudslides in California. A woman's body discovered yesterday, raising the death toll to 21 people. Folks in states hit hard by natural disasters are still picking up the pieces. The toll is high, physically, emotionally, and financially. 2017 is the most expensive year ever for natural disasters. ABC's Chuck Sievertson explains why. A heads up on some road closures involving the Spaghetti Bowl on Wednesday and Thursday from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. The northbound US 95 will be shut down to the 15 northbound ramp connector. NDOT says it's part of Project Neon. A medical miracle. This cute little boy on the screen next to me got an organ transplant, transforming 2 families. ABC's Ariel Reshef tonight brings us to the reunion at the heart of it. Live at 11, he's the local Good Samaritan the internet is still talking about. The mystery man who returned a lost wallet stuffed with cash. He saves Christmas for a Las Vegas family, and it's all caught on camera. Good evening and Merry Christmas. Tonight, 13 Action News reporter Joe Bartels introduces us to the man in the right place at the right time. Christmas is a day we traditionally spend with our loved ones, but for seniors living with disabilities, getting there may not be so easy. One ambulance company is stepping up to help out. 13 Action News reporter David Schumann shows us how an act of generosity brings families together. A beautiful holiday here in the Valley, but severe weather is blasting other parts of the country. A white Christmas in New England, and not the kind you see on the Hallmark greeting cards. A winter storm barreling through Massachusetts, dumping snow and packing near hurricane-force winds. On Cape Cod, gusts uprooting trees, toppling utility poles, tearing down wires. The storm knocking out power to more than 20,000 customers and shutting down Boston's Logan Airport. A light at the end of the tunnel for crews battling the largest wildfire in modern California history. The Thomas Fire now mostly contained. Officials say it should be fully out early next month. Flames scorching more than 280,000 acres. Many firefighters battling the blaze won't get to spend Christmas with their families, so Santa and Mrs. Claus pay them a special visit. The Ventura County Fire Department tweeting, Santa knows a little about working during the holidays. So you'll want to return that ugly sweater you got for Christmas. Millions of Americans will be taking back unwanted gifts this holiday season. How do you get the most bang out of your post-holiday buck? ABC's Maggie Rulli walks us through what to do. Christmas is almost over, so what do you do with your tree? Well, recycle it. Starting tomorrow, you can recycle your tree at dozens of locations around the valley. Make sure you remove all the decorations first. The service runs until January 15th. You can find a list of locations on our website, ktnv.com. President Trump keeping up with all things Christmas and politics during his holiday stay at his resort in Florida. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in West Palm Beach. First Lady Melania Trump feeling the holiday spirit. The First Lady posting this selfie on Twitter using a picture filter with a Santa hat and light-up reindeer, tweeting Merry Christmas. Most of the First family is at Mar-a-Lago, including most of the president's children and grandchildren, along with the First Lady's parents. The Golden Knights may be the hottest act in town right now, but some think comments from the team owner aren't so cool. He's talking about the $2 billion Raider Stadium, and he doesn't think it's worth your money. Plus, a wrap-up of one of the wildest years in Hollywood. We'll take a look at the twists and turns from big blunders to women fighting back. An airline employee taking the stress out of holiday travel. The Southwest flight attendant sings for passengers as they wait to board, and it's caught on camera. I think she's Mr. Calling. The flight attendant thinks someone shot the video on Saturday in Houston. She flies here to Las Vegas over the weekend and sings the same song at McCarran. New tonight, the Golden Knights owner taking heat over his comments about the Raiders' move to Las Vegas. Bill Foley telling CNBC he doesn't think taxpayer money should be used on the new stadium. He says it should go to firefighters, teachers, and police officers. The city is using a $750 million taxpayer subsidy to fund a big portion of the $2 billion stadium. From career-ending revelations to chaos at the Oscars, it was quite a year in the world of entertainment. David Daniel takes a look back at 2017 in Hollywood. Okay, this is sure to put a smile on your face. Get a look at these guys. These penguins doff their tuxedos and don their Santa suits. They're keeping alive the Christmas spirit at Harbin, Polarland in China. The little guys waddling around, greeting visitors at the theme park. We're following a developing story. 2 people recovering from serious injuries tonight after 2 cars crashed and rolled over. This happening around 7:45 this evening near Cheyenne and Simmons in North Las Vegas. Police say crews pulled both drivers out of their cars. Cheyenne closed in both directions while police investigate. A 13 Action News update on a grisly discovery. Police yesterday finding a woman's body in a dumpster. Investigators now say there are no obvious signs of trauma to her body. A homeless person first spotting her remains in the dumpster near Flamingo and Maryland Parkway. Right now, police do not have any information on a suspect or suspects. A man shot and wounded at an apartment complex near Paradise in Sahara. Police say the victim suffering a gunshot wound to the upper torso. He was taken to the hospital. His condition is not known. Police not releasing information on who pulled the trigger. Fire guts a vacant home on the east side. Neighbors blaming squatters. Flames breaking out last night near Lamb and Owens. The fire spread to a garage next to the house. It took crews almost an hour to put out the fire. No one was hurt. A movie screening that is out of this world. Astronauts on the International Space Station joining millions of Earthbound moviegoers watching the latest Hollywood blockbuster. He's delivered all the gifts. You think Santa could take a break? No, no, no. The world's busiest man isn't slowing down. He's posing for pictures with newborns at a hospital in North Carolina. These babies in the intensive care unit. Santa says it's his 10th year visiting that hospital. A galaxy far, far away streams into low Earth orbit. The crew of the International Space Station gets a Christmas treat, an out-of-this-world screening of Star Wars The Last Jedi. Astronaut Mark Vande Hey tweeting a picture of the crew enjoying movie night. Well, day and night pass by very quickly when you're zipping around the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour. You can make out Oscar Isaac's character Poe Dameron on the screen. Well, that does it for this edition of 13 Action News Live at 11. Jimmy Kimmel Live is up next. We are always on at KTNV.com, our mobile app, our Roku channel, and Apple TV. Wake up tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. for Good Morning Las Vegas. From all of us at 13 Action News, have a good night.